And welcome back to In the Can. Today we have filmmaker Gareth Evans with us, and the reason we have Gareth Evans with us is because he has a film with him. It's called The Raid. Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, this, I mean, for lack of a better term, can we call this a kung fu movie?
I call it a silat movie.
No, what does that mean?
Okay, silat is the Indonesian martial art that we use in the film.
Okay.
And we used it in our first movie, Merantau, and then explore it even further then in The Raid.
All right, and in Indonesia, then obviously you shot in Indonesia.
Yeah, all in Jakarta then.
And you use a local cast. You use a local crew.
Yeah, everyone. It's like the only people from outside, myself and my DOP, who's actually a British guy but based in the US.
So tell us a little bit about the film. What kind of storyline does it have? And
Okay, so it's a very sort of streamlined action film, and it's about a SWAT team that are raiding a building that's owned by a drug baron, and their goal is to kind of take him out. But halfway up the building, as they work their way up, they get spotted, and then the building gets completely locked down, and then they have to kind of fight their way out, as every person on every floor is given a mission to try to kill off all the SWAT team, and if they do, they get to stay there rent-free.
Wow.
So it's a very sort of high concept sort of action thriller.
It is, and it's an interesting new concept because you start out with something like, okay, guys raid a building and they're going to get the kingpin. Okay, we've seen that a million times before, but this has got a bit of a twist to it.
Yeah,
it's almost like a kind of and excuse me for the term, but almost a video game element to where there's levels. You create, you finish one level, you get to the next level, and the stakes are heightened.
Absolutely, and like calling it like a video game, like that's not an insult to me because that's exactly it's the structure.
No, that wasn't meant as one either. I mean,
exactly.
the idea that it's going to ramp up, up until
and we do a
film.
thing where we wanted to kind of like introduce these bad guys and then sort of go up a level. So it's like that. They get a little bit harder as we keep going up further and further and further up the building.
Now, I've always been fascinated with films like this because obviously it's more than just grabbing a camera and a couple of good actors and a script and putting them in a barn and shooting a scene, right? I mean, there's a lot of choreography involved.
Yes.
I mean, there are a lot of martial arts involved. Talk a little bit about the difference between shooting a narrative, so to speak, and shooting a fight scene.
Okay, well, obviously, like fight scenes take like a lot longer to get done.
And by the way, it's a very moody subject, I know. So the lights have come
so we've
down
dropped
for
the
some
lights,
reason.
right?
Yeah, right.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, there we go. When we shoot like a fight scene, it's like a lot longer process. Like we can kind of get through like a couple of drama scenes in a day, but with a fight scene, it's almost like you get through one fight scene in 2 or 3 days, sometimes longer.
Well, that lengthens your entire film shoot.
Exactly, yeah. So the shooting days kind of like ratchets up then because of that. Because the difference is when you shoot in drama, you can kind of shoot a scene like a bunch of times, and then you can kind of find in your edit, like a flow between different performances, different takes, and just use each of them to kind of get the scene right. But for an action movie, the way we shoot our martial arts fights, every shot is like a jigsaw piece. So you kind of have to have it perfect on your in point and your out point. And so until it's right, it's never going to be, finished. So that shot is never going to be done. So we do take after take after take.
I was going to say, there have to be multiple takes because you're moving from one shot to the next shot, but that one shot's got to pick up where the last shot left off. If a guy gets punched in the face, you need to see his head jerk back. And
it's all about the momentum. It's all about maintaining it often gets overlooked, but in like action cinema, for these performers, for the fighters, it's not just about their physical ability, but there's also, there's performance in there too, and they have to sustain that performance, so that level of aggression or that level of, desperation or exhaustion. They have to sustain that take after take after take all throughout the day for 3 or 4 days. And that kind of often gets very sort of like overlooked,
And you were mentioning that so that as we mentioned, it lengthens the shoot time for the film.
Very much so, yeah.
72 days to shoot
Yeah,
this
we
film?
shot this for 72 days, yeah, total. Around about that much.
All right, well, I know that we have a clip of the movie. Let's take a look at it. This is Gareth Evans' The Raid. And that's got to be the most violent thing we've ever shown on this show.
It's a nice romantic comedy. It's a very gentle film.
It's a feel-good buddy film like that. Point blank shot in the head. Well, I'm looking at that though, and first of all, the music's fantastic. I mean, we talked about that video game element. It's got that very kind of driving, taking you to the next scene type of soundtrack. It's great. The Linkin Park guys were there.
Mike Shinoda and Joe Trapanese did the music for it.
Fantastic.
And the music's fantastic. It just kind of like, as you said, it just drives it forward and it gives it momentum that, just gets you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah, and the art direction was just, I mean, very lush, colors. I mean, obviously, this is set in a very dark place.
Yeah.
It's a very dark theme, but lots of blues, purples. Really a gorgeous template. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, very proud of the work done by my DOP and my lighting guys, and then also my art designer as well, because we wanted to shoot in a real building, and we looked everywhere throughout Jakarta to find one that fit the choreography that we needed for the film.
Right.
And in the end, we just could not find a place in time. So we had to build, like, a lot of it was like studio sets then. So we even like the 2-story atriums, they were all kind of, you know, designed in the studio then.
So you would trash one floor,
Yeah.
and then you would recreate it as the next floor, trash that one, and then you'd keep moving up the
And
building.
then the hard part is that, like, you know, we have like continuous shots almost, like they kind of go from one space to the next. But then those are different studios on different days, sometimes like 2 or 3 weeks later. So we had to like figure out how we were going to shoot it, how we were going to edit it, so that those link-ups between all of those different studios felt seamless in the film. So that was a hard part.
So you premiered the other day?
Yeah, we did.
What kind of response did you get, and were you pleased with it?
Fantastic. I mean, the audience here has been really great. They've been so like receptive to it, and you know, it's a surprise for us because, you know, it's very much like a genre film. It's very much a sort of, you know, it's a very aggressive little movie. But thankfully, yeah, everyone's kind of taken to it in a way that's, yeah, makes us feel very humbled, very overwhelmed.
Well, that's the nice thing about Sundance. A lot of the times is that, you know, granted, a film will come in looking like it's, you know, the same old thing that we've seen before, but they'll give it the care and the thoughtfulness of looking at the story and looking at the way it was made. So there's obviously going to be more to it than just people shooting each other.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, good luck to you, Gareth.
Thank you very
Gareth
much.
Evans, his movie is The Raid, showing throughout the Sundance Film Festival here in Park City, in Salt Lake City, and throughout the area. Make sure you check it out. We'll be back with more In the Can after this.